Hello, hello. Welcome to my channel and today 3 of my Come Craft With Me week, Halloween week, making this album. Happy Halloween Eve day. Tomorrow is Halloween. I'm so excited. We used to get lots of trick-or-treaters in our neighborhood, but I guess they grew up, moved away, and now everybody takes their kids to the trunk-or-treats in town, so we don't have trick-or-treaters anymore. But hey, we watch scary movies and we have snacks and treats here at our house. We don't have any little trick-or-treaters anymore, but we have trick-or-treat candy. So sometimes I go outside the back door and come around the front and make my husband get up because he doesn't know it's me, and make him come to the door and give me some candy out the front door. I don't think he'll fall for it again this year, but anyway, this year's better. Last year for Halloween, I had just broke my foot and was in a boot, so I couldn't do anything anyway. So this year, everything's gone well so far, fingers crossed, and I'm ready to craft on this album. I'm loving how it's turned out. We have the cover patterned and the front, inside, and back covers done. I will say that I think maybe I should have used a bigger magnet or two magnets on this. So I'll put it, I've already done the screenshot. I can't add that on there for you. But anyway, that's an afterthought. That's something maybe you could do if you wanted to add another one, you know, underneath a photo mat or something. But anyway, it works. It's okay. I'm fine with it. That's what happens when you're designing as you go. So today we're going to do our pages. We're going to have 2 base pages in the album, and I've already done one. I do the L hinge, which is a 1/2 inch hinge, which is built onto the page with a 1/4 inch give space for this one, and it does have a pocket sleeve. Now what I do different on these is I actually make it a pocket so that it's not glued down to the page, so you have access to the full pocket page here on the side. You can use it if you want. If you don't want, if you have lots of photos, if you don't, then you don't have those. So anyway, I've made one. I'm going to give the measurements now for two base pages. So you need to cut 2 pieces cardstock. So this takes 4 sheets of cardstock, by the way. You need to cut, let me see if I can get my camera light. You need to cut 2 that are 8.5 by 8.25, and 2 that are 8.25 by 9.25, because I make my pages come all the way to the full height of the album, but I do keep them in on the side. So that's just the way I like to make mine. I don't make them shorter in height. Okay, so let's take the first piece, which is the 8.5 by 8.25. So that's the 8.25. We're going to turn it to the 8.5 right there, and we're going to score at a 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch, and you're going to do this on both pieces that are this size. This is making our hinge and our give space. So I just fold on the score line and burnish really well. And because these are going to be hinges bending, I do go back and forth with that. Well, I don't know why I'm not able to, maybe I didn't score that good enough, but I'm going to get it. Okay, there we go. The score line wasn't folded. I want to make sure it's straight. Okay, so once you got it that way, I flip it backwards. Now, L hinges work great with artisan cardstock. If you're using a cardstock that's not artisan, artisan is very strong. It's fibers. It's a linen type in there. So other cardstocks could crack. So see, I'm just bending them back and forth to get them used to doing it. And so we have it like that. So there is our hinge. So we can fold it under for right now because we're going to make our pocket sleeve. So take your other piece. Of course, you would do 2 of these. This is your 8.25 by 9.25. So let's put the 8.25 in at the top. And we're going to make 1 score at a 1/2 inch. This is done just like you would a pocket. Then we turn to our 9.25, and we're going to score at a 1/2 inch and 8.75. Now, if it's easier for you to figure it out, just flip it all the way around and do a 1/2 inch on your other side. So same thing there. this up for now. Okay, so this is like a pocket. Grab your scissors and do an angle cut where they intersect to get rid of the bulk there, or cut out the corners if that's the way you like to do it. Here on the bumpy side, I'm going to fold up and burnish both sides. So what that does, it makes a pocket. Just like a regular pocket. I got a little bit of nubbin showing here. I don't want to clip that off. And burnish the other side. Okay, so that is our pocket sleeve. Now, move this out of the way. Grab your base page. So we have the 1/2 inch, the 1/4 inch, we fold it under. And this is where this is going to glue down. I'm just checking to make sure it fits. I'm going to open on the side, okay? I'm just going to put down the back one towards the hinge side first. So with it folded down like this, take your glue on your 1/2 inch on just the one side that goes up towards the hinge, and make sure you line it up against the fold line here, and you want to make sure it's straight on the bottom and the top right here. We want lined up evenly. Burnish that so it sticks down. Flip it open, burnish inside, and then I grab my gift wrap tape so that my tags or whatever insert won't be hitting this on the bottom. I'm going to add a tape here along that seam. I need a little bit more right here to just make it smooth in there. So we do it now. So now when something hits it, it's going to go across smoothly. Okay. Now then we're ready to glue this shut. So you put glue on the 2 remaining 1/2 inches. This is just like making a big pocket. So we're going to make our elements for our pages. They're all going to be different, a little bit different, and add our pattern paper as we go. And before we actually, make sure that lines up, before we actually put these in the book. So we got these sealed up on the sides here. Makes a nice, sturdy, thick page. So it opens here on the sides. Got lots of room for several full page tags. And so there's page 1 and page 2. And that's what's going to go in our album. So next we'll work on what I call page 1A, the front side of this one here, to go in our book. Okay, let's do the front side of page 1, which I'm calling page 1A. And we're going to have a long flap at the top on the left side and one that opens to the right. And then we'll have a magnetic closure with this guy here. And then on the inside, there's going to be a pocket. So let's make our flaps first. Okay, so that's the pocket one. So I cut 2 pieces of, whoops, page 1A. Let me find him. Okay, there we go. 2 pieces for the side flaps, 8 1/4 by 4 1/8. So put your 8 1/4 in at the top. And we're going to score these at a 1/2 inch. So we're making 2 of these, one for the top and one for the bottom. So that's 8 1/4 by 4 1/8, and score at a 1/2 inch on the 8 1/4 side. Did I give 4 1/8? Now what I actually did when I cut the 4 1/8, I backed it off like just a hair line so that there's going to be room for clearance. So I'm going to do it like this. think I'll make it to the right on the top and to the left on the bottom. So let's go ahead and burnish this. Just like this, we'll burnish it. And those will be our flaps. And then the next one will be the pocket. For the pocket, we cut a piece that is a 9 1/4 by 3 1/2. Cut that out of a scrap of cardstock. These you can too if you have big enough pieces. So score this 9 1/4 inch side at a 1/2 inch, 8 3/4. Turn to the short side, which is your 3 1/2 side, and score at a 1/2 inch. So that's a pocket. So of course we miter cut the corners. And I'm going to go ahead and burnish those. Now we need to decide before we actually put this in the book if you want to punch the center part of this or not. I'm thinking. So anyway, there's the pocket. So that's what we've got so far on that. So let's grab our page, and then I've got some of my pattern paper wrote down, but I need to double check that and make sure as I'm cutting it with you or whatever. I've got the paper pulled. So here is our page right here. So we have the hinge on the left and this opening on the right. So this is our page 1 right here that we're going to be building up on the front. Okay, so first let's put our flaps on. So I'm just trying to decide which way I want to go. I think I want this top one going, opening to the right. And I'm just going to lay it on here and make sure it's not sticking out too far. So I'm going to take my glue, and I quit for lunch and forgot to put my little cap on. So let's get this going. It's usually not too hard to get this open back up. Just take a pin, long pin, and open it. That's why I like the small ones. I always get the big ones so clogged up I can't get them going again. Okay, so here we go. The glue. And take this and make sure I line it up along the cut edge. And along the top so that it's straight, and burnish that down. So that should fit in there okay. And on the other side, I didn't check my height here, but I trimmed it a little bit smaller than the 4 1/8, so it should be okay. So this one's going to go here on the left. So the fold goes right along on the left side of the page. Make sure it doesn't go over your 1/4 inch. And get it straight on the bottom. Straight there. And burnish. Gonna open this up this way and burnish in here. And then open this and burnish in here. So that's there. And then next is the pocket, which will go right in here. And I'm afraid I made my pocket too long, so I miscut this one. I'm going to redo this here on the side. I don't know what I did. Fell asleep, I guess. I don't know. It needs to be 7 3/4, so I made it to fit an 8 inch, I think. So 7 3/4. Should have been 8 3/4. So pocket should have been 8 3/4 right here. Sorry about that. 8 3/4 by 3 1/2, and so then your 8 3/4 is what gets scored. 8 3/4 at 8 1/2. No, 8 3/4, 8 1/4 is where I would scored it. So let's cut this down. Should be 8 3/4 instead of what I have. So I cut that off. I'm going to redo this. So this is 8 3/4. And put this in and score it a 1/2 inch. Then we'll see if it fits. See if I got it right this time or not. Okay, and so that would have made it scored at 8 1/4. Yeah. So angle, recut this. All is not lost. You can always make them smaller if you have to. It's easier to go that way if you make a mistake. So that's good. Let's see if it fits now. So put that there. Make sure I get it straight on the guide cutting list, which I don't know if I'll have the cutting list ready for you when I upload all these on Halloween day or not. So we'll see if I have time or not. So let's double check this. So yeah, there she goes. Now she fits. So do we want to notch it? You can either use your envelope punch board or this notching punch that I got from Country Craft Creations, which means I need to find the center of the 7 3/4, 3 1/2 of 7, and 3/4 would be 2, 3, right here, 3 7/8. I don't like doing math. 3 7/8 should be the 1/2. Okay, I think that's it. I'm going to make a longer line where I can see it. And then I center this notch punch with my line in the middle. I like to set this one down. Got to have a longer line. There we go. And punch. So there's that. It's a lot easier with the envelope punch board, I think, but I do like this punch too. So there's where the pocket's going to go. And I am going to go ahead and cut the paper to go all the way in, I think, on this. So I'm going to glue this on the bottom. Now, if you don't want to waste your paper, then you're going to cut that to fit just the upper part of your pocket. So we've got that like that. You can either put the tape on it, or if you're going to put your pattern paper all the way down, you don't have to. You can use the pattern paper, which will protect these sides here. So I'm going to be using the Skellies. I had one sheet left. I love my skeletons. And this one needs to be did I write that down? Let me look and see. Okay, I did. Jeepers Creepers, 7 1/2 wide by 8 tall. So that should be right. 7 1/2 wide. Okay, so I'm going to cut eight tall. Seven 1/2 wide. And that's going to go right in there. Okay, and then the pocket will come up over there, and this all will be sealed in. So ink. Guess you can tell that the Skellies is probably my favorite pattern so far in this collection. Okay, and did I get that top one done? Yeah, and my glue. It's getting so close to Halloween. I feel the pressure. I should have started this probably Saturday or Sunday, but I had other things I had to finish up for design team. So this goes in up a little bit. Make sure it's straight. Okay, get that on there. Now we can put the pocket down. We'll pattern this after we do these flaps. Oh, I forgot the magnet. Let me see if I can lift this up. See, I thought I was doing so good. Magnets have got to go down in there. So let me see if we can do some lifting here. It's got to go in there, guys. It's got to go in there. Can't believe I did that, and I put it down good. Then you know that. If I can get it partially lifted, it'll be okay. Once I can get it lifted, I can glue it back down. Right there, got some really glue. Art glitter glue is some strong stuff, but this tool helps a lot. Keeps from damaging the paper. If I can get it just enough to get in there. So this magnet's got to go here. Oop. This is going to fit right there. So I do know one here and here. So let me grab those and we'll get it taken care of. Okay, so I have two sets of the tonic magnets. Now they come with the little sticker stuff, but I don't use that. I just use glue. So I've opened up my flaps. I have pulled this up the best I can. And this is going to go on top of the flaps. So, yeah, it's got to hold the flaps down. So I want it centered pretty much side to side, top to bottom. So it's got about 2 inches there and 2 inches there. So about right there. I'm eyeballing it. Looks pretty good. So this one here, I'm going to actually put it on the pocket. So I'm going to put it on the back of this piece right here. I'm going to take the second one off. What a mess. I'm making a mess. Slide my magnet off. I'm going to glue it right here and put my tape down. So this one I'm going to put on the pocket anyway, over here. So let's match this one up. And we put the glue on the back of the magnet. And what did I say? About 2 inches from the bottom. And kind of centered. Get that one on there. It's pretty close to the top of the, we're going to drop it down a little bit. It may not be centered. It's okay. It's Halloween. I can do what I want. So this one's going to go right here. Slide that off and stick it down and tape it. Yes, I do goof up too sometimes, so that's just the nature of it. So there we go, we got that. So this other one's going to go over here. So let's get this one on this corner. Tape. See, it would have been easier without the paper in. So I'm just going to have to try and feel. What did I do with my magnets? Still stuck on there. No. I lost a magnet. I know it's, oh, there it is. So there it is, through there. Okay, I'm going to kind of gently lift this up, put the glue on the magnet, press it down, lift it up so I can see where I made my mark. With the glue, slide this off. Whoop. Don't come off. Stay where you belong. Okay, right here. I know the paper don't look very pretty under there where it tore it up. Make sure got it going the right direction. I'm going to tape this up. But artisan cardstock can handle this type of situation. So let's see. I hope these magnets will hold. Oh, it's too far over. It's got to be moved. Got to be moved. You don't want to have to be doing this. I think this one needs to be moved. Also, do this in the correct order before you put your paper down. Glue. Somehow I didn't get this one lined up right. Looks better, right? Right there. See, I had it way off. Okay. So we put it there. I promise you this is going to look okay. There's a little tatter right there, but that's okay. It's Halloween. So next I need to get this magnet under here on the right spot. There we go. Let's see if we can get it to stick down there. I did it with the tape. Okay. Let's double check it before I glue everything down. Now, that off again. How is that happening? So that one I think is good. This one I may have to move. So this one right here. Move it again. I'm going to have glue marks everywhere. Back almost to where it was originally. What's up with that? Okay, tape, new piece. All right, maybe that's it. Maybe. Sorry about this, guy. Some days things don't want to happen the way you want it to. Okay. Okay, that looks better. Okay, now then, take this off. Let's get this glued back. Looks terrible, I know, but we're gonna make it work. It's the last piece of skelly paper that I've got, so I am not about to waste it. Just put a good amount on here. Just remember, sometimes this happens, and this little tool is a godsend. If you want to know what it is, shoot me a comment or something, and I'll share what it is that I've got. Okay, let's see if we can push this down right here and really burnish out those wrinkles. Some glue here. Push it, push it, push it. So it looks fine. Kind of a little wrinkly there, but not too bad. Doesn't really show up that much. You just burnish it down really good. Okay. So now we're going to pattern these guys. So this on the front, I want, let's go ahead and do this little guy here. So on this piece here, this is the one that was cut out at 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Did I give you that measurements out of a scrap? Have the magnets on the back. This guy's going to go here on the front, and I have a margin for him. This one I don't think I have it big enough. So okay, so we're going to glue this one down. This is a cut apart, a 4 by 4. And it says, having a skeleton of fun. And it's going to fit over that. Kind of center it. I love that. That's so cute. Oh, I didn't ink it, but it's okay. Okay, so this piece I cut, but it's the same size. I might cover the magnets. Yeah, it does. Okay, so this is a 4 by 4. I'm going to go ahead and ink it out of a scrap, and I use the Trick and Treat scrap. Oops, got too much ink there. And I just thought it looked cool on the back of this. Kind of goes with the rest of the album. So this, we make sure we glue it so that it covers the magnets. Could have used the dot, but I really like the bright colors for Halloween. So put this on here. Oops. Just like that. Burnish it around the magnets. Okay, so that's what's going to fit there. Okay, now then, on these, I'm going to use this side here of the cut aparts. I have 2 sheets of the cut aparts, so I will still have this available. So this is called the journal elements, and I need 2 for this. Double check my measurements. Journal Elements, 8.5 wide. Let me double check that. No, that's not right. So it's a good thing I checked. Change that. The back of the Journal Elements is, it comes to 7.5 wide by 3 and 7. Yeah, 3 and 7/8. So I had that right. So that's 7.5. Can't even read my own writing now. Okay. So let me cut this right quick, and then I'll be back and we'll glue that down. Okay, so I went ahead and cut for the inside too. So you need two, actually you need 4 that are 7.5 wide by 3 and 7/8 tall. So I cut this out of the Journal Elements. Then I had scraps of Jeepers Creepers where I could cut 2 of these the same size. So this goes in the inside. You could just leave it black if you wanted to for photo mats, but I'm going to go ahead and cut mine. So I did ink. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these on real quick. And then page 1A, I think, should be done with the assembly and pattern, adding the patterned paper. Now, extra decorating and stuff, like maybe with my stickers and other elements that I have, I will probably do that off camera, and then share all that, the finished album decorated on Halloween Day, on Thursday. So let's go ahead and I don't know, it might be Thursday night before I share it because I might be working on it Thursday. So anyway, but we will get this thing, I hope, finished. We just have the back of page 1 and then page 2A and B to get done. So I don't think they're too terribly complicated, at least I hope not. So let's line these up. Okay, so there's the front. See, this goes down like that. Love it. Okay, we're going to open this up. And then these go here. Oh, and we got to do a pocket, the paper for the pocket. I haven't decided on that, so we're not quite done. Almost. So these go on the back side of the flaps. And like I said, if you don't have enough paper and you just want to leave those black to add photos, well, that would be fine. But I did have these scraps, and I thought, well, I'm going to use them because I like it. It goes really well with the little skellies. It's the back side of them. So that one goes there. Wipe that off. Don't want it sticking down. Okay, we're going to close that one up. And then, so it's a good idea to put the magnet here so that it actually will hold down from that other card. Wouldn't be through more thicknesses. You know, the more thicknesses of paper you have, the less effective your magnet is going to be. So maybe it's a good thing that I goofed up, because I probably would have put it underneath down here. Okay. So that's like that. And then I'll decide what paper do we want here. Maybe a scrap or something. But anyway, that's that one. So I'm going to go look, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I had a scrap of this one from the Journaling Elements. So I want this one here because it's going to match this outside. And I need to punch that. So this one is cut 7.5 wide. Yeah. 7.5 wide by 2 3/4 tall. And then I've laid it on here down underneath and put a mark where the center is so that I can see to punch my notch right there. Get it almost as close as I can. Erase my pencil mark. And so this is going to go like that. Okay, So glue, and now we'll be done with 1A. And we'll flip it over and get busy with the back side, the 1B. Okay, put this one down, just like that. Okay, I love it. Of course, we'll have to put tags and things and all that inside the pocket, but for now that is done. And then this, of course, holds it down. There we go. Love it. It's so cute. Okay, so flip it over. Now I'm going to make some notes and things and plan my 1B. So let me, page 1A, I'm going to move these over here where I'm keeping them all clipped together so I can put them in a book and then type up at some point the cutting list for you. Okay, so I'm going to get over here and plan on this side here, and then I'll be back. Okay, so page 1B is going to be pretty simple. It's just going to be a deep pocket with a booklet in it. So I've already cut for the pocket. So you want one that's 8 3/4 by 5. We're going to score. Put that at 5. Yes. Okay, so we're going to score this pocket, the 8 3/4 by 5. You score on your 8 3/4 side. So let me write this down. We're going to score at 1/2 inch and 8 1/4. 1/2 inch, 8 1/4. Oops, I scored in the wrong spot. Let me re-score that at 8 1/4, and I will rub the wrong line out. It'll be covered up by pattern paper, so that's okay. Okay, so it's 8 1/4. Then turn it and score the 5 inch side at 1/2 inch. Angle cut. Make sure I get the right score line here. And then we'll fold it and burnish it. And then while we got the scoreboard out, we'll go ahead and score for the booklet. Okay, there's that. So the booklet is 7 inches by 12, right there. Put the 12 inch at the top and score at 6. That gives us a 6 by 7 photo booklet. And that just slides into the pocket. I am going to go ahead and round the corners. Of the booklet on just one side, right there. Kind of gives it a finished look a little bit. Lay that over there for pattern paper. Those we'll decide later. So here's the pocket. Let's move this out of the way. And I do want to punch it in the center. So it is a 7. This will be 7 3/4. So that is, I think we did this before, didn't we? It's 7 3/4, 3 1/2 is your 7 3/4. And half of that is the 8. I think that's right. Or not. I hate doing math. I seriously do. This is for the 7. And we have 3/4 here.
So half of that is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. So I hit it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3 is half. Okay.
So that's right. Didn't look like it. Okay.
Line this up in the center.
Punch it.
There's some of those lines.
Okay, so there's the pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the page. My little piece keeps falling off, so I'm going to leave it right there. So make sure this fits right in there. It does. So we're going to put just part of the paper in here. We're not going to cut it all because we might need to be conservative. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have done that on the other, but. So glue on our 1/2 inch here. And then glue this down on the bottom. Making sure it lines up on the sides and the bottom. Just stay away from that hinge there. And burnish, make sure it doesn't move. They always want to move on me. There we go. Burnish it inside, and that's where we put the tape. Big long piece of tape right there. Get that little piece off right there. Okay. Now the pocket's going to go up. And let's glue it down after we put the paper on the top part. This needs to come up. Don't want tape showing. Snip that off the edge there. Make sure it's not showing over there. Okay. So, patterned paper is going to be the spiders on the upper part. So this is 7 3/4, so we're going to make it 7 1/2 wide by, so it goes down into the pocket far enough for the notch, by 5. And that is going to come off of the Keep It Creepy. And then the pocket one is going to be 7 1/2 wide by, so what is that, a 4 1/2, 4 1/4 tall. And that is going to be the back side of it. Spiders up here, plaid down here. Okay, so let me cut those and we'll be right back. Okay, so the spiders, I cut that out from the Keep It Creepy spiders, 7 1/2 wide by 5 tall. This one, the plaid, the back side, is 7 1/2 wide by 4 1/4 tall. I laid this on here and marked my center spot so I can punch the notch. So
Erase the pencil.
okay, and I've already inked everything except this notch. See if I can kind of get some ink on that. Okay. All right. So first I'm going to put this down. I've inked it. So this goes right here at the top with my pocket not attached down yet. It just makes it easier. I just attached it on the bottom and added that tape. And so now I'm going to put the paper down. So I don't have to try to slide it in to the pocket. So this is going to go here. Make sure I'm getting it straight. Looks pretty good. Burnish that. I got some ink on it, but that's okay. Okay, burnish. think I have ink on my fingers. Ugh, yuck. Okay, so now this on your flaps on the sides to bring up the pocket. Bring it down. Burnish. This will go right on this. This is pretty easy page, right? Got to keep it simple sometimes. Where's my ink getting on here? I'm going to have to stop and clean my hands. Okay. Glue on the back side. Glue this down. Okay, and this booklet will slide in here, and I'll decide on the paper for that because it could be some piecing and stuff on that. So that is page 1A and 1B. Set those aside, do some cleanup, then we'll move on to page 2A. Page 2A, we're going to make 4 corner flip-ups. Flip-ups, flip-outs, I don't know. Haven't decided. Probably flip out both ways, okay? And so I cut 4, because I wanted squares, but I've got to score them. I cut 4 out of cardstock, out of scraps, that are 4 inches by 3.5. So we'll be scoring those. And then for closure piece, I cut 2 that are, this is out of scraps also, 3 1/4 by 5.5. So this page 2A is all out of scraps, which is good. So we take our 4 by 3.5, and we're going to put the 4-inch in at the top, and we're just going to make a 1/2 inch score. Now we're going to attach those onto the page. So put your 4-inch at the top,
Score at a 1/2 inch.
On all 4 of these. Okay. Then for our little closure flaps, score at 5.5 side at a 1/2 inch. So just put it in the 5.5 at the top and score at a 1/2 inch. Go ahead and fold and burnish the score lines. And on these closure ones, on each end opposite the fold, the score lines, I'm going to round the corners. I'm using the 10mm, just round 2 corners on each one. And these will have a magnet to keep them closed over the little flaps. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'll move the scoreboard out of the way. And we'll put this on these flaps and these closures onto the page. And then take these and go ahead and fold and burnish these too, these little flaps. These are going to go probably on first. So we do put them on. We could mat the paper on these, but I'm going to wait. Go ahead and get these ends, make sure how they fit. Okay, so grab the page, page 2A. So we have our hinge to the left, got the opening here on the right. And this one's going to go right over here. I'm just going to back it off a little bit from the edge, about a 1/16 of an inch, so that it doesn't get into the fold of the hinge. So glue on your 1/2 inch right here. And I'm going to line this, turn it so I can line it up just a little bit off. Make sure it lines up with the top, the fold of it. Off from the edge here. Clean that glue up. Burnish, lift it up. I've got a lot of glue here. Ugh. I don't have a cloth to wipe with. So there's that one. Let's do the bottom one too. Same way, we're going to put the glue on the 1/2 inch. And burnish that. Oh, got glue on everything. Okay, open that up and burnish. So there we have those. And then we're going to put one down here. And these are just going to be cute little places for photos or some of the decorative elements from the collection. Pattern paper. Lift that up. And then this one opens up this way. And then we'll have a magnetic closure. Yeah, this should have gone in first. But you know what? I think I'm going to put it on top of the other side. And cover it up on the other side. Or let's go ahead and take these off. Goof up time. Maybe they haven't stuck down too much. This. I hate when I goof up. Normally, I got it on really good. There we go. Whoop. There we go. What did I open up? I thought I opened it up, but I think I opened up my page. Oh, I did. Okay. Jeez, it's on good. Okay, I tore some of the paper there, but I'll cut that off. Let me see what I do here. I opened up my page and I don't want that, so we got to put that back down. Opened up the hinge of my page. Okay, let's get these others off. This one I'm going to trim off where it's got a little bit of paper sticking out. Today we've had Fix the Mess Ups 101, haven't we? Okay. That one came off good. These haven't been on as long. Or that one wasn't. Probably depends on how well I burnished. There we go. Okay. So it'll be fine. Hinge on the left, opening on the right. Put your closures on first. So, glue on the 1/2 inch here. So sorry about that. I'll try on the screen to say stop, don't do what she's doing. So I'm going to center this before I press it down. I'm going to kind of look about 2 3/8. 2 3/8. Just move this way.
2 1/4, so that should be about right
there. Burnish that. So now this bottom one, we're going to put it on and make it match up. It's like this. Glue on the 1/2 inch. Line it up.
And burnish.
Okay, open these up. Okay. Oh, now I've got it. Okay. So this is going to go here. This is the one I hadn't put down yet. Glue on the 1/2 inch. So it's going to go right in here. Do I want it to go out or in? You know what?
I'm going to put it this way. So put the fold to the
Outer edge. Wipe that off and burnish. This way it's going to go opening like this. Okay. I'll put one over here, same way. Down in the corner, right here. Opening out this way. Okay.
Make sure they're
lining up right, and then so these are going to come over. Like that. Okay, so I'm going to decide on this one. Don't know. Would it be better for them to come up? Let me think for just a minute on that. I hadn't thought that far ahead. Hang on. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I want them to go this way. So it's a good thing I took them up. I've changed my mind with the closure how it would be best for them to go. So we're going to line it up
just off of the hinge a little bit.
Right there. So all this will be covered up where I tore it up with pattern paper, so it'll be okay. And then this one goes, so they're all facing each other like that. So this one goes the other way. Okay, so now we're ready for some magnets, and then
we'll do some patterned paper.
Okay, so burnish this one. So they close down like that. This goes like this, and this goes up, and we'll have a magnet here. So let me grab a magnet right quick. Where did I stick them? So we just need one set. Okay. And we're going to put it on this one here at the top.
Put the magnet on.
Add my tape. Put the other magnet on top. Put glue on that one. Fold it shut, press it down, lift up, and it's going to mark it there with the glue. Put the glue back on it. A piece of tape. And close it down. So that's going to hold it closed like that. So now we're ready for the patterned paper. So I'm going to decide what I want on that page and get that done. For the closure flaps, I took another piece of the Keep It Creepy, cut 2 of spiders, 2 of the plaids. It's just the reverse side. So all 4 have to be 3 wide by 4 3/4 tall, and I rounded 2 corners. So like this one's going to go right here on the top flap. I'm just splitting them up and putting a plaid on one side and plaid on the bottom of the other. So I'm going to line these up right here. Okay, burnish that down. So lift this up. So this one's going to go down here on the bottom over the magnet with the spiders. So I like when I do pages, if I can bring a little bit of what's on the opposite page into this one, it just makes me feel better. I like it that way. I like to kind of make them go together, even if it's just a little bit. It doesn't have to be completely the same. But now I have this page here, and these are going to match, at least there on that part. Okay, so then we flip this up. The plaid's going to go down here on this one. Okay. And then the spiders will go up here on the inside. And I did ink all of these, by the way, so I did do that off camera. Just double check and make sure microphone's still going. And I'll put this here. And the spiders are right there. So that's the closure. Now I need to decide what to do on my 4 corners and my inside. In the 4 corners, I probably will use scraps. So those can be, since these are what, 3.5 by 3.5. So they're going to be 3 1/4 wide by 3 1/4 tall. And we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need 8 of them. So 8 different scraps, different patterns can work on those. So I'm going to grab that and get those going. Okay, so I've got all my little squares cut. All of these are from scraps. They're the 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, except for this one here. I wanted the bats, so I did cut into this one, just a 3 1/4 strip, cut this down to 3 1/4. So I'll use the rest somewhere else. Then for my inside piece, I did take a new sheet of this. This is the stripes on the back of your 2 by 2 and 4 by 4 elements. So I still have a sheet of this left to use. So this one's going to go inside back here underneath everything. Once we get it all glued together. I did ink everything, so let's get to gluing. So these are the 3 1/4 wide by 3 1/4 tall squares for all of our pop outs, or not pop outs, but fold outs, which of course you can put photos on them if you want to. I may never put photos on them, I don't know. I think I'm going to put my inside pattern paper down first. I started this, but I'm going to open this up. This goes here and here, because I think if I put it in, it'll be easier for me to see. So this goes over this. It covers all that, pretty much all of that oops areas pretty well. So let's get this one on. Okay, burnish it. Get it in. Okay, that looks good. I love the stripe. Close this up. So we'll go ahead and get these guys on. So this one goes here. So I want that skelly. Maybe I'll use that skelly there, and this one goes over here. Depends on your skeletons, which one you want to be on the front of your square. So here we get this. Okay, this pattern here. So like I said, all of these except for the bats were cut from scraps. So you should have the same scraps if you're using this paper collection. Okay, now for the inside of the flaps. Now you could leave those black if you wanted to. I am going to put pattern paper on mine. Two A will be all together and patterned. Of course, all the decorating I will do off camera if I want to do anything. So this closes up, and then we bring this up and down. I love it. Love how it turned out. That is so fun with all the different patterns. So I really like that. Okay, so now we're ready to go to 2B. I'm going to take a little break here. Of course, you don't know that when I turn the camera off, but yeah, take a break and get some ink off my hands and stuff. So this goes over here, and we'll be ready to work on the back side, which is 2B, and then we'll put these pages in the album. Okay, so we have page 2A done. We flip it over. This is 2B. You're going to have your hinge to the right, the opening to the left, and I have my pieces cut. So we're going to have a little regular waterfall on the left and the right at the top with a pocket and the tags inside to hold the pockets, the waterfalls closed. So I've already cut my cardstock pieces here for the pocket. We cut one at 8 3/4 by 3 3/4. We're going to score at a 1/2 inch and 8 1/4. So put the 8 3/4 in at the top, score it at a 1/2 inch, and then 8 1/4. Turn it so that the short side's at the top, which is your 3 3/4, and score at a 1/2 inch. Okay, so then we angle cut the bottoms where they intersect, just like we've done before. And I'm going to go ahead and burnish the score lines, fold them. And burnish. So this is our last page that we're working on. Okay, so now we're going to punch the top of the pocket again. So the center of that's going to be at 3 7/8. So I mark it at 3 7/8. Mark me a line. Just double check and make sure. Okay, 3 7/8 right there. Make me a line, and then I will punch with the notch punch. I'll use the center mark, line it up, and punch a notch. Okay, so there's the pocket. Now I've already cut my paper, pattern paper for this, so hopefully I've got it right. Let's see. Oh, no, I don't. What was I thinking? Did I cut that 7 1/2? Surely not. Oh no, I haven't cut it down yet. 7 1/2. This should be 7 1/2, so that's correct there. 7 1/2 on the pattern paper by 3 3/4 tall. Let me see. 3 3/4 should be 3 inches tall, not 3 3/4. And so there is that for the back side of the bats. And that is the What a Scream patterned paper. And let me mark the center. I'll use a pencil. So I line it up where I'm going to mat it from end to end. I put it down below the notch. So So that looks about right. And I mark the center out so I can see it. And then I take my punch and I line that up in the center and punch, and then erase the pencil mark. Okay. And then I'm going to ink it right quick. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this on our pocket. This. Okay, that looks right. I'm a little off. Not too bad. I don't know how I did that, but I don't know if I punch it again, if it'll look okay or not. Let's see. Make it a wider punch. Okay, that's better. I just made my notch wider on my pattern paper, and I just have a little bit in here I need to snip out. I want it centered. Let's see here. Gotta get that cut out of there. So it looks better than it being off center, so that'll work. So now I ink that again. A little bit in there. Okay, now I'm going to glue this on. The green side. Kind of a teal green or dark teal, I guess, color. It's in the stripe of the different things, so it's going to go right here. Okay, looks pretty good. Even if I did have to make it a little wider there in the center. So take our page and let's put the pocket, just the bottom flap on. Line it up down here at the bottom, along the edge, making sure it's not hanging off, and make sure it's down at the bottom. Okay, we're going to burnish that, pop it open, and burnish inside. Now we put our pattern paper. So I cut the bats, which is the water screen, to fit here. Okay, so it goes down far enough in the notch. So this piece is 7.5 wide by 5.5 tall. And we glue this one on. I'm going to use the bat side. Whoops, make sure my bats are going the right way. We don't want upside down bats. Right. So line it up here at the top and on the side. Burnish. And now we can put our pocket down. So we glue the sides. Oh, let's put our tape on. Almost forgot the tape. Right here on the seam. And now the glue. That's the purpose of doing it this way. I just got a big glob of glue there. Fortunately, I have things I can use to cover it up, and maybe my eraser will take it off. Okay, so there is that page. Now we'll do the waterfalls. So I cut 6 4 by 4.5, and we're going to score the 4.5 side on all 6 of them at a 1/2 inch. So go ahead and do that like that. Whoops. Okay, so now we can put the scoreboard up. Out of the black cardstock, I also cut 2 mats or tags that are 4.5 by 6, and I angle punched the biggest, angle punched the 2 top corners, and I rounded the 2 bottom. So these are tags that will hold the waterfalls in, so they'll go in there. Let's see if I can clean this up some. This rubber eraser does pretty good at getting glue smudges off. Okay, here we go. Now then, the waterfalls. Let's fold and burnish each one. Now, these are going to be regular waterfalls. The others that we did were the push-pull kind. 3 on each side here. Okay. So we'll do the one on the left first. I'm going to line it up at the top with the top edge of my page so that I can keep it straight, or as straight as possible. So glue on your 1/2 inch. And along the fold of this, along the edge of the page, and along the top to keep it straight. Open it up. The next one, glue on the 1/2 inch. And the fold of it lines up to the bottom edge of the one I just put down. Lining it up on the top up here. And as straight as possible. Of course, I got glue on it. The third one, same way, glue on the 1/2 inch. Line up the fold to the cut edge of the last one. Ooh. I think I must have cut this one wrong because it's not lining up right, but I'm going to go with it. Right there, like that. So this one's a little off. All right, so these open up this way. Now we do the other side. Along with, away from the fold edge, but the edge of the page here. Along the top. Open that back. Putting it on the same way, it's just going the opposite direction as we did the last ones. And the last one here. Put it up to this. Okay, so they fold down like that. And then you can stagger them if you want to. Okay, and then these tags will go in here to hold it down. Like that. Now I'm going to decide on some patterned paper for these up here, and we'll get those patterned, and then we'll put these pages in the album. For the little waterfall flaps, I went through and cut scraps, and I decided to make them match up the same. So I cut 6 that are 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then inside here, I took a 4 by 6 cut apart and glued that in between to cover up the hinges for these. And then I'm going to do some strips on those. So I'm going to glue all this together, but before I do, let's see, this one goes in here. So I have 2 skellies here, right here, and then I have 2 stripes. These were all from scraps. And then I did, this was from a scrap, which is the back of a strap, and it just perfectly had this cat here. So then I cut a 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 from a full sheet of the this plaid. And then this is one of the elements, so I'm going to use that there. But I've decided that even though the tags will hold this down, it's still kind of poofy. I think I want a magnet in here. So I have taken this dot scrap and punched with my Stampin' Up! Tab punch, this right here, and I punched one out. So you could do a circle, oval, whatever you want. And I put a magnet in it. So now I'm going to find my other magnet. I had it here. They're always sticking where they don't belong. So I don't have one there. So I'll grab another one. I know there's one here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay, I didn't have to get one. So I'm going to match it up there like that. And I'm going to, let's see, put it on this side here, I think. So let's go ahead and glue this one on. I need to ink it really quick, because the tab is going to, with the magnet in it, is going to attach to the outside of this one. And then I need to put a magnet on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on.
Just like this, kind of center it.
And then I'm going to put my spooky wishes on. Right here. And then the tab with the magnet going down. So it's going to catch, let's see, make sure that it's going to catch just barely on the edge. Okay, so I'm going to put glue on all of this right along the edge, and I'm going to just connect it right there, just barely. Kind of. So glue here. And I needed to put the other one underneath there that's going, no, that one don't have one yet. So I'll put the glue on and see where it hits. Right on the edge. Okay. So this has got to go here. Just barely covers it. I think it'll work. So the glue on this one, and I forgot to ink it, but that's okay. This is important that I get it on. Maybe I can ink real quick. Okay. Glue on this magnet. And the cat. that one.
Hard to see the hard to see where they go.
Okay.
Push that down.
Okay, and then this one goes here. Okay, so I have the fronts all patterned. And I think for now I'm going to leave these plain for pictures. I will put 3/8 of an inch strips in here when I do the decorating. But this is the basic finishing of it all. Let's see here, this goes this way and this way and this way, and that magnet holds it there, so I love that. That's perfect. I may put one of those little stickers on there. Let's see where the stickers are, like I did on the other tab. So we got like the little yellow one. I think I'll use that because it'll bring in a different color. A little bit of glue on it, and so right here in the center, that just decorates that up. So we got spooky wishes, so that helps hold it down. And then the tags, and I will be adding patterned paper to them during the decorating, or if I want to put shorter tags in there now that I don't need them to hold that in, I might do that. Some of the shorter tags in the collection. And the last thing we need to do is put these in the book. So we will do that next, and I'll move all this stuff out of the way and we'll get that done. So we're ready to glue the pages into the album cover. So you lay it out flat. So this is the first one. This is going to be the front with the flaps, and then the little magnet closure goes on there. And it's a 1/2 inch hinge. This is a 2-inch spine, so the 2 1/2 inches are going to stack on each other in the middle, which gives us 3/4 in the front and 3/4 in the back for room for this in here. So flatten this down, put glue on just the 1/2 inch with it folded back towards the 1B. So put your glue on here, and I do like to use glue instead of score tape because it will hold better. And if you use glue in combination with score tape, it actually takes away from the strength of the score tape, so it can actually come loose. So I did a pencil line 3/4 over
From the front. Remember, my page is the height of the album.
And make sure the pages line up and are straight at the top and the bottom. Just push it over, make sure it stays straight on the bottom and on the top. And making sure they stay where that 3/4 inch line is. You can check it with your ruler from the fold. Okay, so I've got it there. I'm going to burnish it here and then carefully lift it up and burnish right in here. Now I do see some pencil lines that I made extras, so I'm going to erase those. So I've got it pretty good right in there. Now then, let it lay down. Once we've burnished it really well, just burnish it, burnish it, burnish it. So the second one, this is the front. We're going to turn the hinge towards the front side like this, and we're going to stack it on top right there. So glue on the 1/2 inch on the front side. press it down on top of the other hinge, lining up your page across the bottom and everything. I'm going to line it right on top of that other hinge. Should be straight. I'm going to burnish in there between it. Make sure that it catches. And then when we line it up, they should be lined up top and bottom. And we're going to let that dry. Got a little bit of glue right there I want to clean up. Okay. Now then all I have to do is put a 3/8 inch piece of pattern paper right here in the middle with our decorating. And this goes here like that. And that is our pages in our book. And I'm ready to decorate, which I will be doing off camera. And I'm going to put a clip in the top here and the top and the bottom where these hinges are to just give it time to really dry there on the top. But I have burnished it really well, so it should stick down really good. And that's how it goes together. So when I'll come back on Halloween Day, on Thursday the 31st, and I will show you everything that I've done the decorating. So I'll be using my different elements that I have and stickers to add decorating, and I will do something to the cover as well. So thanks for hanging out with me today, and I hope you're having a wonderful Halloween Eve evening or afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.